Well, Sistas fans, it looks like one of the girls is about to be a little princess. I mean, a Babs, Black American princess. Sabrina, and this is all about the video I did yesterday about the 22 new characters introduced in season 4. Sabrina might actually have a new suitor, and it isn't Calvin. The name is Bale. A man who's in his 30s, black, male, very handsome, and I'm reading the character description, by the way. Very handsome and charming. Bayo is an African prince who recognizes Sabrina at a restaurant with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Calvin. False description, these two were never in a relationship. Calvin is offended when he attempts to get Sabrina's number when they're actually on their date. Description says must be comfortable talking in an African accent, and is a recurring character. Now, moving on. At some point, Sabrina's in the grocery store, the supermarket, and a couple of African girls recognize her and ask for a photo with her. Sabrina discovers that her new lover, Bayo, so it seems like Bayo and Sabrina get close this season. She discovers she discovers that her new lover is a prince, and a picture of she and her lover are on magazines in his home country. So I guess you could say that it's interesting how Sabrina went from a man who it's questionable what his sexuality is to a man who's actually a prince. Now, based on the promo, it seems like these two know each other from the past. They perhaps maybe met, I don't know, in college. Perhaps he was a customer at the bank. But one could argue that if he was a customer at the bank and he's a prince, Sabrina would know this dude's loaded. I mean, it's interesting when you think about it, because first it was El Fuego who was introduced to the series while talking with Sabrina. They knew each other in college, and it's like, oh, is El Fuego are El Fuego and Sabrina going to be a thing? And then you have Jacoby before that, and now you have a freaking prince. And I don't know why, but this automatically takes me back to Living Single, because I'm pretty sure I watched that episode last week. It's the episode where Kyle goes on the date with like a literal princess, an African princess. And he's a stockbroker working in finances, whereas Sabrina is the manager of a bank. So to actually have these two characters dating royalty is amazing to me. Now, here's the thing. I hope Tyler doesn't write it so this dude is a fraud and he's fake and whatnot. But given that, she discovers that the photo of Bayo and her on the front of magazine covers in his country, I don't think that's the case. But let me put it this way. Tyler, I don't know how you're going to write this, but to have Sabrina dating a prince, please, Lord, don't write it so this prince is fake. This prince is so full of things in regards to his character that are turnoffs that Sabrina would literally fall back into Calvin's arms. I don't know how you can make that make sense, but Tyler Perry will try to do something. I mean, I wonder if Sabrina's going to feel some kind of way, because how come you didn't tell me you were a prince and yada, yada, yada? So it might be some kind of coming to America stuff. I honestly think that would be hilarious. And look, let's be honest here. Novi, if I'm not mistaken, on her Instagram, I remember she liked one of my posts recently. And I'm like, wait a minute, who's Empress? Empress? Who's Empress? And then I noticed that Empress is her like title on Instagram, because it's I am Novi Brown, blue check mark, and then Empress, and I'm like, oh, and we know she's like a Novian African queen just based off the way he let her most of her like photo shoots are done, and it's like, I'm here for it. So imagine if you have Andy with the man who owns an entire law firm and is loaded, Sabrina being with an African prince, Karen with a preacher, and Danny with a potential FBI agent. Look, go to the 22 character video for that information. But I feel like Tyler could possibly be writing it so these women have other options, and I love it. It's just a shame that it took 3 whole seasons for him to actually do this, but I'm really hoping season 4 turns out well. That way we can have the other characters who aren't Zach and Fatima in meaningful storylines. So thanks so much for tuning in. Like I always say, like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit that bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post content on the channel. And if you would like to donate so I can be rich as royalty myself, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.